Hello, fifth graders. Welcome to virtual art. I missed you already in my classroom. So this week we are starting a brand new project that is all about creating a wreath. Wreaths are very popular in America, and if you look around your neighborhood, I'm sure you're going to see some. These are decorative items used all year round here in Lee Summit and around our country. So right now we're looking at a Google image search. All I did was type in seasonal wreaths to show you different varieties. So we have wreaths that are made for each season: summer, spring, fall, winter. Some of them are on branches. So this particular wreath is made out of a base that is made from branches. In the winter time, we see this type, which is made from branches of pine trees. So they have those pine needles on there. In the summertime, you might see burlap used and attached. There are lots and lots and lots of different varieties. I change mine at my house throughout the seasons. In the springtime, they're very colorful and very full of flowers. I know that many people have them for 4th of July, and then of course the color scheme then changes to red, white, and blue. So you are going to be making a winter wreath this week, and you're going to need a couple things before we begin. So go find your white paper. This is notebook paper to start with, not your final draft paper. You need markers, or if you have a set of watercolors, go grab those. You also need a pencil and some sort of plate. This could be a paper plate from the cabinet. If you are able to get a real plate from your dining room or whatever, don't pick the best one, of course, but we're using it for a tracing circle. And so you are going to be using those things today. So go ahead and pause the video right now and go grab those items. Okay, so over here on Pinterest, I have all of these different types of foliage. Foliage is a word we use to describe things growing off of nature. Leaves, branches, berries, all sorts of things. These are the ones that we're going to be practicing today. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up my camera. I'm going to make this a bit smaller. I'm going to pull this over so we can still see. Hold on just a second. Oops. Sorry, guys. I'm going to zoom in on that. And then I'm going to, whoop, where did it go? Seriously? What happened? Goodness. Here I am back to square one. I was trying to zoom in on it and scroll over, but it wasn't working. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and do the best we can. Alright, so here's my video. Like I said before, you need a piece of white paper. This is not my thick paper. This is my scratch paper. And you need something to draw with. I'm going to be using a marker today. If you have colored pencils, you can use that too. So the first thing you need is a circle. So I'm asking you to put some sort of a plate here, or if you don't have your plate with you, you can just draw it. Okay? So give yourself a circle. Alright, and if you need to pause the video as we go along, that's fine. When we do a wreath, typically the wreaths go in one direction. So when you are putting stuff on your wreath, they tend to flow in a direction. So for today, the first thing we're going to do, and I kind of already have one here, is we're going to bring out some little kind of pieces that are going to be on the outside and on the inside. But as you pull those around, you want to make sure they're all going in the same direction, because that gives flow to your wreath. So that was step one, okay? Just lines coming out, and these lines aren't straight, they're curved, all right? And now we're going to try some of the varieties that you see on the screen. So we're going to start with one that I really like, and I think that it's really easy. I call it like long stretch teardrops. So these are kind of like little shapes that start kind of in a point. They can attach at the same place like I did right there, or they can be uneven. It does not matter. Okay, and it just kind of ends. So go ahead and do a couple of those. I skip around when I'm doing it. That way you kind of want a wreath that has foliage here and there. Since we're going to add different varieties, you don't want them all clustered in the exact same spot, or it's going to make your wreath look off balance. So when we do this on our final draft, we will be doing either marker with colored pencil and crayon accents, whatever you have at home, okay? Sorry, I'm not really in my, let me move my computer so you can see me better. I'm getting used to all this technology stuff. All right, so I did that piece. The next one I'm going to do is more of like the ones that have the little tiny red berries. So on this, I am going to add these stems, if you will, and then I'm going to, at the end of each one of those, put a little berry. Okay, and these, again, don't have to be perfect. Yes, they're a round shape, but they can be whatever you want. And if you want to add some because you feel like it needs a little more, go ahead and do that. So I'm going to do those again. So again, I'm adding little pieces coming out, and then my circles. Your circles on these, when you go to color, are going to be in the red family. So anything from bright red to kind of this color that I'm using, which is more of a mauve color. You can even do these in orange, because those are the colors that they typically are found in nature. If you want to do them kind of in a dark brown, you could do that. Or even a green. They can be absolutely a green as well. Okay, so next I'm going to pick a pine needle, and this is what we see a lot in this time of year. Pine needles are also going to start, and they're going to keep going in the direction in which you have your original line. So these are going to come off very thin and diagonal. Once you get to the very end, you're going to add a couple straight lines, and then I like to start at the top and just work my way down. Okay, you can always go back and make one side more full, and so that's the pine needles. So again, I'm gonna add one here because I think it needs something right there. And I just work in little strokes as I'm creating that fullness that I like. And over here. So first I kind of hug it real tight, and then I seem to go back and add a bit of fullness.
Harry, can you come to the office? We have a parent here. Thank you.
All right. So those are some pine needles. You can do other things on here. So I'm really liking the piece that has only leaves on one side. So right here, I'm going to try a few of those. I think that's kind of cool. So I'm going to go to this side, and I'm going to put these really close together. all the way down. And I might go ahead and do it right here. And so I'm keeping these ovals, they're long, skinny, stretched ovals, I'm keeping them really close together. And as I'm teaching, you can totally push pause and go at the speed that you need to go at. So, already my wreath is looking a bit more full and I'm really liking it. I'm going to now do one of these that is right here. So it has them coming straight out on each side. Okay, so I first am going to add some pieces of where I want these to go. And these, I'm going to try to get these a bit more rounded. So you're seeing more of that shape on the inside of these versus the last one that I did. And these are just following the shape of the piece that I drew. So, a bit more round. When I go up the page, I just take that right off the page with it. And these would be colored in with a green. These, I'm really facing that line, pointing right towards it. They're not angled out like most of the others. Okay, so our wreath is starting to get full, and at this point you have some work time to work on these techniques, and then tomorrow you're going to be actually starting on your final draft paper. I will be meeting with you in person tomorrow. So until then, take care, my artists. I love you and I miss you. Bye.